Happy Halloween! Today we're checking out a movie based on a very popular pop-up Halloween store, Spirit Halloween.
Pop-up Halloween store in a creepy lot? Awesome.
The fact that this exists is hilarious and the reason why we're watching it. If you want any cool Halloween merchandise, that's where you go. So when I saw that they made a movie based on the store and it's gonna be like haunted objects from the store, of course we needed to see it. That sounds so cool. And we went into this knowing that it was going to be more like a Goosebumps episode or something. It's for kids. Don't expect anything too crazy or over the top. We're gonna talk about most of it, so if you haven't seen it and you wanna check it out, go check it out. It's worth watching. It's a fun popcorn flick, but otherwise we are going to talk about some of the major highlights.
How about a night locked in here?
What?
The Halloween megastore.
The premise is we have 3 kids that are looking for something to do on Halloween. Bo, Jake, and Carson. Carson wants to go to a party, Bo doesn't make decisions for himself, and Jake wants to stick with tradition and either go trick-or-treating or do something kind of creepy. And they have the brilliant plan to go to a Spirit Halloween on Halloween so they can just have a sleepover. Little do they know, back in the day,
A long time ago.
Christopher Lloyd is like some evil guy trying to take over some land. He encounters a witch of some kind who casts a spell. He has a heart attack, and his spirit is now haunting the Spirit Halloween.
So then you just fast forward, we got our trio, our 3 musketeers here. We get right to it. Jake, he lost his dad. He's like really like down and he's like tradition because he wants to not forget his dad.
We don't do princesses on Halloween. It's meant to be scary. Me and Dad always did it scary.
They're probably 13 years old right now,
Yeah.
so they're gonna enter high school, and Carson's like, I got chest hair now.
It's chest hair, and there's way more than one, FYI.
I wanna go do adult things. You know, I wanna party with the ladies.
Seriously, nuts.
Booyah!
I feel bad for Jake, but I can understand where Carson's coming from. And Bo is just the most likable.
Yeah, and he's just in between.
We've got our own awesome plans.
Do we though?
And Carson has a sister named Kate, who Jake fancies. There's no subtlety in that at all. But her plans for the night are to go hang out with the football player Ray, and doesn't really give a shit about these other kids. They're kids. And she continuously calls them children.
Who knows what you kids are into these days?
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, it's not that she doesn't care about them, because as the movie goes on, she obviously is concerned for their
Okay,
well-being.
she doesn't like them romantically, I mean.
Like, we don't know what the age gap is here. I would say a couple years, because she's in high school.
At least a couple years, they're about to enter high school, so probably like 2 to 3 years.
So the film basically sets you up to kind of feel sympathy for Jake, but I can be honest, I really didn't. I didn't like care for Jake's character. He starts being like a little wiener towards like his stepsister.
But I want to be a princess for Halloween.
Princesses suck. So that's stupid.
Like everyone's just trying to like be nice to him and he's just sulking because he doesn't want to move forward.
And then at the same time, he thinks he's deserving of Kate. He's like, I should get the girl. I'm the nice guy, why does Ray get everything?
Can you even string a sentence together?
You don't need sentences when you got touchdowns, bro.
It's not revealed until the very end, but it's pretty evident really early on that Bo's grandmother is like the witch that cursed Christopher Lloyd's character.
Stop scaring my friends.
She's like humming the tune that the little girl was humming and like acting weird and telling people not to stay out too late, even if you're like a grown woman.
It's late, child. Go home.
No.
She's a teenager, but like she's old enough to be out past 11 o'clock or whatever it was at the time.
Hi.
So the kids have their like grand plan, the one last hurrah, and they bike to the Spirit Halloween. Their plan is to just like sleep in a crypt or a house, like one of the attractions, until like the store closes.
Kind of a brilliant plan. They nailed it.
But the staff people are pretty dumb.
Are you gonna go check every coffin?
You would be able to see a kid breaking, like going into like one of your attractions.
If I'm at the cash register, I don't really give a shit. There's no customers. I don't care. I'm a temporary job. Nobody
Yeah,
cares
this is
about
not
Spirit Halloween.
This is not a full-time gig, you're right. This is not your career.
Like you're open for 1 month of the year. The kids, they're in there. They're having fun. They're putting on masks. They're playing with all the different props and swords, and it's all the generic Spirit Halloween stuff. There's no like licensed properties, of course, but there's enough there that it's super fun. It gives you that like Spirit Halloween vibe. The moment they walk in there, you're like, I love this place. It's like home.
It was a fun setup and a great idea and well executed, because right away we get Christopher Lloyd's spirit just zapping himself and possessing the different animatronics that are in the store. I was concerned that Christopher Lloyd wasn't going to be like involved in this film other than like the 2 minutes in the beginning, but he voice acts every single animatronic. And it was great seeing like all of these things chasing after these lads.
Say boys.
They're young lads. We say boys a lot, so we switched it up.
Stop pestering me, you little twit!
That's like the fun of it, because you're always constantly guessing, okay, what's the spirit gonna jump to next? And you're looking around the room and you're like, oh, I hope it's this and I hope it's that. And then when it lands on something, you're like, oh yeah, the teddy bear, let's go. It's really fun in that aspect. And because you're kind of feeling like a child yourself, how cool would it have been to be locked in a toy store?
Like a slumber party in the mall.
Yeah.
Like how cool is that?
Like shopping mall.
Except this one wasn't as violent.
Yeah.
Before all of this, when they first went to the store, like when they were scoping things out, you saw like one animatronic that had like a hammer and like a chainsaw hand, and you're like, man, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with this one.
It's set up a fun little gag because they find a secret hatch that leads to like a pretty massive cave underneath the store. But he can't open the hatch. He's like, I should have used the guy with hands.
I need to find one with hands!
And then we get like the creepiest one, jangly man knockoff, like our contortionist, like running around.
Yeah, that guy was kind of cool. But we neglected to mention Kate has been looking for her brother because she has like his phone and she's trying to return it to him. And she ended up finding out that they were in Spirit Halloween. She climbs up the ladder, she jumps in the top. So she's joined the crew at this point. But they go underground and kind of figure out what's going on. Like, oh shit, this is Alec Windsor. We found his skull and we found this book and we need to figure out how to stop the spirit.
They gotta send him to the other side by midnight, or else he's just gonna keep doing this every year.
And he needs to possess a body.
His options are between the three boys and Kate.
And he gets Kate.
He knocks over some eyeballs and she wipes out. The thing is, they either have to be asleep or unconscious. Which, you know what? If Christopher Lloyd really would have played this out, those kids probably would have passed out by midnight. I
Yeah,
think.
if you like that one kid was sleeping.
Yeah, Carson, he could have possessed Carson and could have been cool guy Carson walking around going to parties. Cause like it would have been Windsor taking over, and Windsor was like a very confident man that I'm sure that he would have just walked up to like the quarterback and be like, yo, can't date my sister. That's for Jake, the Jakester. The fonts on the phones were hilarious. Like Bo doesn't get a nickname other than like they call him Little Bo Peep.
Who needs a nickname when your name is 2 letters?
Well, yeah, I mean, Bo Jackson was like the most notorious Bo, or Bo Derek.
And this is the third best Bo.
Third best Bo. Good guy Bo, our chemist, who was like making all those periodic table jokes.
Are you made lithium and tritium? Because baby, you are lit!
The way to defeat Christopher Lloyd is to take the heads that he possessed. Technically, they need to take Kate's head too.
Somebody get the buzzkill guy again.
Take all of the heads that he's possessed, and then something that you're willing to sacrifice, burn it, then he passes on. Carson brought what we thought was gonna be his guitar, was actually
His high-powered Nerf gun.
Deadheads! What a dance!
They even do like a slow motion like Nerf thing earlier, but with like weaker guns. But this one's been modified. And they showed it earlier. It shot a hole in the wall at his house. Jake was pointing it at him and almost shot him. Imagine he just fucking killed his friend like with a foam dart. Holy Christ.
They get the book, they burn the book. Kate like drops to the ground. Jake's like, all right, I saved the day. I'm gonna go in for a kiss, which no.
Yeah, he goes in for a kiss. She's like, no, I'm not kissing you. Like, because she's very aware that you're a child.
I love you. You're my hero, but that is never gonna happen.
I'm your hero.
They leave. Mom's there to drive them home, and we do have one more moment where Jake's sulking again.
Yep.
He's like, well, I wanted the girl. Then he sits down, and of course, she just like walks over to make him happy, gives him a kiss on the cheek. He's like,
yeah,
you can't just be sulking here.
I know, and the only person who really should be sulking is poor Bo. All he wanted to do was take his bike home.
Wait, guys. Our bikes.
Leave them.
And the bikes were right there.
And
And
they
it was an SUV.
I just feel for Bo.
I honestly thought Bo was gonna get the girl.
But
he was,
John, he's also a child.
of course, you know, they get out okay. Mom brings them back, which I don't think really needed to happen at this point. Like, the mom didn't need to go there.
No, they could have just walked home.
They could have biked home.
Wait, how did Kate get there?
Oh, she walked. She got her steps in.
She did get her steps in. Holy shit. Anyway, we fast forward to the next Halloween. Jake is now cool with the stepdad, Frank.
I'm real proud of you.
He likes his sister. He takes her trick-or-treating.
And then we get the shot that doesn't actually need to happen in this entire film, is Bo's grandma down underneath the store saying a seance of some sort to set up maybe a sequel. I don't know.
I'm totally down with the sequel though, to be honest.
They could make another sequel, but it was just so weird and out of place because they're like, this whole time, Grandma G was the girl. It's like, no, we knew.
Yeah, but like, what was she doing? Keeping the thing at bay, or because she didn't do a good job? If that's the case, like,
I think she was releasing it.
She's just releasing the spirit. Like, she wants the spirit to torment people, because that wouldn't make sense.
Maybe because if the spirit is out at night, she has a reason to tell people not to stay out late. That's why she wants the spirit to start attacking people. To be like, I told you so. Don't go out late.
It's really just for her own like ego. It's like, you go out late, you get possessed.
Old Man Windsor's coming to town.
At the end of the day, it's a fun popcorn movie. It's worth watching. Even though we've like talked about every single thing, it's still fun. I think if you have kids, they're gonna enjoy it. It's spooky, but not too spooky. Definitely plays out like something like Goosebumps. It's very easy to digest for kids, but there are still creepy moments that could traumatize them probably. I think it is a good entry film for kids to get into horror, to be honest.
It's a fun seasonal movie. This could be something you could tack on the list to watch as a Halloween special. Move over, Charlie Brown.
I'm gonna give this 3.5 knockoff Zoltars out of 5.
And I'm gonna give this 3.5 creepy Living Dead dolls out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with what we're doing here. Usually horror stuff, sometimes some 90s stuff and some nostalgia stuff. But either way, even if you don't subscribe, have a happy Halloween. Also subscribe.
Better not be lame or I'm out.